Jai Gurudev. The initiation. Question. Is everybody fit to receive Shaktipat? Answer. There are two views. One advocating the initiation without any consideration to the fitness of the disciple, and other leaving this decision to the Guru. If Shaktipat Diksha is given even to an unqualified disciple, it is believed that Shakti will apply itself for the purification of Chit of the disciple. Both views are correct, but people who desire to receive Shaktipat Diksha should not become indifferent to self improvement. An aspirant of Shaktipat Diksha must prepare himself by practicing austerities and various disciplines in order to acquire less sense of ego and more humility and self control. Scriptures tell us of two types of disciples, Sat and Asat, that is, pure and impure. Even if a person seems impure and immoral, he may still be accepted by a guru. This is so because only the guru can correctly judge and state the preparedness of the disciple. Similarly, a person apparently of good moral character and possessing spiritual traits may be unacceptable to a guru. An anecdote from the life of Swami Narayan Tirth will be illustrate this point. A Sanskrit scholar well versed in rituals and scriptures was pestering the Swami for initiation. Swamiji, however, was indifferent to his request and kept postponing the initiation ceremony. One day, while the scholar was present, a Muslim gentleman came to the Swami and humbly requested to be accepted as a disciple. To the complete surprise and resentment of the scholar, the Swami immediately agreed to the request of the Muslim gentleman and fixed an auspicious time for the initiation ceremony. As soon as the Muslim gentleman left, the scholar angrily questioned the Swami and was given this as an answer. In a building which is wired properly and is ready for power, the electricity can be provided immediately. You, being much too proud of your scholarship and gentlemanliness, have shut yourself up in the darkness of your knowledge. The cave of your heart is now difficult to light even by Shaktipat initiation. In fact, a person himself cannot judge the state of his preparedness. He may seem to be impure, but the present state of his development may be the last phase of darkness. Question. Is it proper for the people to request initiation at a time and place chosen by them? Answer. No, never. Surrendering oneself to the will of the Guru implies leaving all important decisions to the Guru himself. Question. How long should an aspirant stay in the company of his Guru before and after initiation? Answer. The disciple may have to stay with his Guru for a total period of 1 week. After initiation, he is usually required to stay for 3 nights. However, this period may be prolonged by 1 or 2 days depending on the development of Kriyas. Even before the date of initiation, the Guru may want the disciple to prepare himself by purifying his chit to an adequate extent. Question: what preparations should the disciple make before approaching the Guru for initiation? Answer: nothing special. The aspirant should just keep practicing the spiritual discipline according to his personal liking, faith, and religious beliefs. During the period of his preparation, he should follow whichever divine form is dear to him and whatever practice his religion, family background, social status, abilities, and circumstances allow him to. What must be practiced is that which is comfortable and follow one's natural inclinations. Usually, morning and vesper prayers, worships, chanting of holy names, observing austerities, and pranayams can all be helpful for his improvement. It must be mentioned here that accumulated seeds of his past good deeds are useful both before and after initiation. Purity of food, thoughts, rituals, practices, and ways of life all lead to his improvement. Question: what is the disciple required to do during initiation? Answer: usually the initiation take place before sunrise. On the appointed day, the aspirant must get up 2 hours before sunrise, take a bath, dress in clean clothes, and take a worship offering, present himself to the Guru for initiation. After the Diksha ceremony, it is no longer necessary to take a bath before sitting in sadhan, because the energy acts within the body and not externally. The aspirant must have an asan, a woolen rug, to sit on. Wool, being a poor conductor of electricity, prevents the energy activated by the Guru during initiation from passing into the earth below. This asan also gets charged during the process and therefore must not be used by anyone other than the disciple himself. The disciple must sit facing north or east. He must then worship the Guru and offer him fruits, flowers, sweets, coconut, etc. If the Guru gives a mantra, then it must be repeated mentally. The body must be passive and relaxed, and the mind surrendered to Shakti. He must leave his mind, intellect, senses, and body completely to the control of Shakti. No efforts should be made to prevent any automatic movements or actions, as this will impede further development of the aspirant. One should not be scared of kriyas. It may appear as if a spirit has entered the body, but it is only the result of charging of the internal energy which has been activated for the welfare of the disciple. During these kriyas, the aspirant is not under the control of any external force or spirit whatsoever. Moreover, these kriyas are fully beneficial for him and are under the control of his own free will and can therefore be stopped whenever he so likes. Also, one should not be shy of the kriyas taking place because such a thought may suppress them. Since many other aspirants also sit and experiences the same kriyas, no sense of shame need be associated with them. One should sit in a comfortable posture to make the body relaxed. When automatic movements like weeping, laughing, singing, hopping, dancing, etc. takes place, it will not be possible to maintain the same posture for long. If the aspirant stays in a certain posture for a long time and feels that his feet, legs, or any other parts of the body have slept, he can change his position. He can, if he so likes, sit stretching his legs or fold them backwards, standing up, lie down, or stay in any posture which is comfortable. However, he should not sit leaning against a wall because this will obstruct the spontaneous movements and may induce sleep. Watches, spectacles, coins, etc. should be removed and put away. During the 3 days of Kriya development, he should study religious books only and should avoid roaming about aimlessly. Gossiping and reading newspapers, magazines, or other literature not connected with the religion or spirituality should be given up. In addition to the morning and evening hours, he should spend as much time as possible in the room reserved for the spiritual practices. If and when the Guru is available, sadhan should be performed in his presence. But even the kriyas that take place during the Guru's absence are important since they indicate a continuity of experience. Not experiencing the spontaneous movements during the initial sitting should not worry the disciple because they largely depend on the state of his preparedness. The beginning of these movements varies and has been observed to start any time from first to fifth day of initiation. Therefore, he should sit quietly and observe objectively whatever may be going on within himself. The divine power working within the disciple's body causes movements on the basis of sanskars. It is not proper to interfere with or obstruct the working of this power or to wish for any particular set of movements. Jai Gurudev.